Hey there, beautiful people. It's Dina bringing your daily dose. I just want to hop on real quick and share something that I was very convicted by today. I don't know if it's going to help anybody else, but I really hope that it does. So I was actually doing some research on what the healthiest biblical diet is. Like, what did God actually say about eating? And this is not something that is new to me. I've studied this subject for many years. I've always been very fascinated with healthy living, fitness, all of that. But the thing is that I struggle very much with that. So although I have a deep desire in my heart to live a healthy, fit lifestyle, it's something that I've struggled with. I also know that the things that you struggle with the most are probably where God has anointed you. It's also the area that is the most vulnerable to the enemy's attacks. Now, I'm not saying that it's only the enemy that's attacked in the area of food and fitness for me. It certainly has been my flesh. There's certainly strongholds that we have to break off, and sometimes you do need to do prayer and fasting for those things. Sometimes it's habit changes, whatever that might be. I'm always looking for, what is it that you want me to do, God? Because I've tried everything. I've been up and down with my weight so much over my lifetime. My first diet I think I was 10 years old. I had an unhealthy relationship with food from a very young age. And I always tied food to good and bad, right or wrong, good foods, bad foods. If I ate bad foods, I was a bad person, all of that. There's been a long journey of God healing me from that food addiction, or I would say poor choices with food. There was times where I was anorexic, and there was times that I don't even care. I'm going to eat whatever I want, and the weight all comes back on. But there's always this deep desire in my heart to be healthy, to be fit, because I want to please God. But then as I was doing this research, the guy was talking about how there's lots of times doesn't feel like getting up and going to the gym, but he does it anyway. And of course, I've heard this before. Of course, we know we're supposed to do something, but we don't do it. But what he said, something shifted in me. This is where that blind spot is, where there's things that we know and there's things that we don't know. And then there's a blind spot. And again, I would think that I have known everything I could possibly know about the ins and outs and ups and downs of eating healthy and losing weight and all of that, because it's really been my life. I have studied this, and I have tried, and I've used my body as kind of like this human pincushion to try everything I possibly can, with just constant failure with that. And then feeling shameful and guilty about that. And that's when the enemy comes in and wreaks havoc. See what you did again. You deserve to be like this because look what you did. You can't even go 2 days without eating something bad. That's all a lie. But I'm in the search of trying to become the best version of myself. I'm in this transition. I know that God is transforming me. This is the one area that it seems like I still keep struggling with. So I was really searching to find out, okay, God, what is it you want me to do? You've placed this desire in my heart. I know that it's a desire that you gave me to be healthy and fit and strong. I remember when I first had Gracie, I was thinking I have to do this because I can't follow after her. I was 42 when I had her. I'm 57 now, and I still have a child that has the energy of a toddler, even though she's 14. And sometimes I just don't have the ability to do all the things that she wants to do. So I knew way back then when she was first born, I knew I needed to get my health in order. And I did for a while. I did. I lost over 100 pounds multiple times. Why do I keep ending up back here again? So this is the thing that shifted for me when he was talking about, he doesn't want to go to the gym, but he does it anyway. So I was thinking about all the things that I say that I don't want to do, but I have no choice. I have to do it. Like, I don't want to actually care for my family and do all the things that I have to do, but I've committed to them. And of course I'm going to get up and do that. I'm not going to be lazy. I'm not a lazy person in general. I am a person of responsibility. I feel very strongly about being responsible and being in integrity. Except for this one area when it comes to food. For some reason, I keep letting myself off the hook on that. But if it was somebody else, I wouldn't want to let them down. If it was a person I gave my word to, I wouldn't want to let them down. So let's take that a little bit further. We gave our word to God to do the things that he asked us to do. That might be to be a wife and a mom and whatever your kingdom assignment is. We all have something that God has called us to do. We all have gifts and talents and things that God is going to do. We have a purpose, and you've committed to that. I'm hoping that you've committed to that. Maybe you're still searching out what that is. But if you do know what that is and God has placed it in your heart or he's given you opportunities, you're doing it because you want to honor him, right? Even when you honor your spouse, you're doing that because you care for them. You don't want to do something that you know is going to hurt them. I mean, I hope that you're not doing that on purpose, but I'm just saying, we make a commitment. We have a covenant relationship with our spouse. And so that is till death do us part. And that means through good and bad and up and down and all of that, we commit to that person. But we also have a covenant relationship with God. When we accept Christ into our heart, we are now adopted into his royal family. We are now part of the kingdom. We have a covenant relationship with him. So why is it when it comes to our food, we think that is something that's, negotiable? We don't really have to do that. I'm not really letting God down. I'm only letting myself down. But we are letting him down. It's no different than if I were to cheat on my spouse. I would devastate him and I would not be honoring my covenant. So when God has asked me and given me the desires of my heart to eat healthy and to be strong because of something he's called me to do that I might need to be strong for, I know that when I'm physically not feeling well, I don't do as much as I probably would if I felt better. Even just recording a video or doing the things I have to do. If you're not feeling well, you're just sluggish because your body's riddled with inflammation because you've been eating junk food, then you're not as able to do the things that he's called you to do. So just for that nature right there, just for that, we should be healthy. But I think there's something beyond that. So this is one of those things that I'm like, okay, God, what is it that I'm doing? Or how do I get this in order for you? And then I realized that I was not surrendering this because I was doing this for him. It's always been for me. It's always been because I wanted to lose weight. It's always been because I don't want to look bad, which is pride. I'm doing this for the scale. I want a certain number. I'm doing this because I have this family function. I'm doing this because I'm going to be speaking somewhere and I want to look okay and feel better in my body. All those things have been for something other than I'm doing this because I gave God my word. Now, there's a lot of things I've given God my word on, and I would not go back on that. And I do those things because I want to honor him. I'm very careful about what I put into my ear gates and my eye gates. I just mentioned that yesterday. I'm very careful about that. I'm very intentional about my Christian walk, about my faith. There are things that I don't care what you dangled in front of me, what carrot you dangled in front of me, it would not make me walk away from my faith. But why is it that when it comes to my fitness and my health, that somehow is negotiable? That's optional. So we do all this hard work to be this good Christian, to be somebody that can honor God because we don't want to disappoint or let him down. But when we give our word to something like our health, why would we not surrender that to him? So I would say the one thing that I probably haven't done is looked at it in that way, that he asked me to do this. He trusted me that I was going to get my health in order because he has something so much greater for me that I can't possibly do this if I'm depleted and my body is, running on fumes. So a lot of times that's sleep, managing stress, but really it has a lot to do with what I'm putting in my body or making that time, like the gentleman said on the video, to get up and go to the gym. I literally have a gym in my house. I have all kinds of stuff in my house that I can use. And I have a membership to the gym and I still don't go. I still don't get up and exercise all the time. I have periods of time where I will be very diligent about that. But then again, I always let myself off the hook one more time because I feel like somehow it's optional because it's just me that I'm letting down. But even if it were that, why would I be letting myself down? If God loves me, he calls me his beloved and he knit me together in my mother's womb and everything about me was planned out. Why would I not love that? Why would I disrespect that? So this is the thing that has shifted for me. It's like, okay, that is a viewpoint that I didn't have before. I didn't look at it like I was letting God down. I looked at it like I was letting myself down. And then when you let yourself down, you start getting in that shame and condemnation and guilt. Like I know. And then honestly, what happens when that is for me, I don't want to feel that way. So I just say, well, it doesn't matter. Nobody else cares. It's just me. I'm not hurting anybody else. So then I start eating all the things I'm not supposed to eat and I still feel bad. And that's how the enemy works, because we opened up a door and we allowed him to come in and have legal right to do whatever he wants to do. Whether that is to cause infirmities in your body or cause depression or whatever that might be. I'm just saying that we have partnered with the enemy because we went against what we said our word was to take care of ourselves. So that was a new thing for me. I was like, okay, if I look at it like I don't want to disappoint God, I gave my word to that, then I'm going to get up and exercise and I'm going to get up and do all those things. It's no different than committing to prayer or spending time alone with God. And yes, there are times that I get away from that, and it certainly affects my life when I don't. I know when I am forsaking my time alone with God, and I'm not saying it has to be the first thing in the morning, but that is the best time for me. But I can tell because I'm more agitated. I'm less patient with my daughter or my husband, and I can find myself ruminating on negative things instead of looking at those things that are good and lovely and pure and admirable, worthy of praise. That's scripture. I don't take my thoughts captive and make them obedient unto Christ. I end up, thinking about all kinds of things that bring all of that despair back in. And I worked really hard to get away from being depressed and despair to the point of ending my life. I don't want to go back there. But if by me not keeping my covenant with God and my commitment to God for my body, my physical health, that I am opening a door and I am going backwards. So anyway, I don't know if this helps anybody or not. If you are struggling with your weight or your fitness or whatever that is, and you know that God has called you to do that. So again, you might not be convicted because God hasn't worked, it's not working on that part of you at this point. It has been something that he's been working on me, and I just keep forsaking it. I keep making excuses because we got a holiday function or whatever, family function, holidays, and I'm going to go ahead and eat whatever I want. And I'm not saying God doesn't allow those times. But if those times become your whole life, your whole lifestyle, instead of you being diligent and being disciplined, I'm disciplined with my faith. And there's nothing that anybody can do to take that away from me. And I know that I have to keep renewing that every single day. Why am I not doing the same thing with my health? So anyway, I hope this didn't go too long. I just felt like that really convicted me this morning, and I hope that it helps somebody else. If you are somebody that really does want to honor God, and you do care about whether you're functioning at top capacity, then maybe that's the thing. Maybe we just haven't surrendered that to God and doing it in a covenant relationship because you don't want to disappoint him. You don't want to let God down. I would say that's the most important relationship, even above your relationship with your spouse or your children or anything else, is your relationship with God. Because at the end of the day, that's really all that you're going to have when everybody else is gone. What I mean by that is that God is never going to leave us or forsake us even when we're gone and we've left this earth. People leave us all the time. God's never going to leave us. I would say that's the most important relationship that we have to foster and to build and to grow. So anyway, I hope this helps you. It certainly helped me to give some thought to it and to really be praying about, repenting even of what my lack of, or my making it optional and not mandatory. And remember, God loves you. He has a plan for you, even in your diet and your fitness. And it's okay. You can continue to keep surrendering that to him, just like I have. And I love you, and I can't wait for us to be back together again. So have an awesome day. Bye.